Good day. It has been nice for me to be here with you. Today, we want to look at agriculture. But before I proceed, I would like to share the lesson objective with you. Uh, at the end of the lesson, students should be able to define agriculture, explain the component of agriculture, describe the system of agriculture, state the importance of agriculture to economic development of West Africa, then mention the contribution of agriculture to industrial development of Nigeria. So we are going to look at this today by the special grace of God. Agriculture can be defined as the production of crops and rearing of animals for human consumption. So agriculture simply means uh, making or producing crops, not only crops, rearing of animals for human use or for human consumption. Or you can also define agriculture as a deliberate effort that made by man to cultivate crops and rearing of animal for food and other purpose. And it's also one of the great importance for the development of the economic for the development of the country or for the development of the nation. So that is the agriculture. Production of crops, they make sure they provide crops, not only crops, they also, and also rearing of animal for human use or for human consumption. So then we are going to look at the component of agriculture. We have crop production. Crop production is the branch of agriculture which is concerned mainly with cultivation of crops. So it's only, it is also concerned mainly with cultivation of crops. What they are doing there is cultivation of crops, and these crops is divided in crop production is divided into two. We have food crops and cash crops. Food crops are cultivated to provide food for the population of for the or for mainly for consumption. So that is for the food crops are cultivated to provide food. So they are just to for the provision of food. And this example of food crops are rice. They provide rice, maize, groundnuts, vegetable, yam, cassava. All these are the food crops. And we also have cash crops. Cash crops are cultivated mainly for sales. So because they want to collect or receive money, that is the purpose for the cash crops. Example of cash crops are cocoa, orange, rubber, cotton, and palm oil. So all these are the cash crops. Then let us look at livestock. Livestock farming involves the rearing of animals either for consumption or for sales. Uh, so that is for the livestock, either for the consumption or for sales, rearing of animals. These animals are reared for money purposes. So they rear this animal for the purpose of money. And livestock is source of food for many people. Examples are cattle, sheep, goat, donkey, poultry, rabbit, snail, grass cutter, and etc. So that is for the livestock. Then let us look at the other one. We also have fishing. Fishing is the selection, breeding, and rearing of fishes in ponds, rivers, and oceans. Fishing is a major source of food and revenue in Nigeria, and it is an important means of living for people living in riverine areas. It also provides food, employment, income, and foreign exchange in many nations. So there are so many people that reside beside riverine areas that this fishing also provide employment opportunity for them, and it also serves as an income to them as well as a foreign exchange and they also it also provide food for some people living in that area. So that is then we also have forestry. Forestry, this involves the planting, development, and management of resources from the forest for the benefit of man. So under the forestry, we also have timbers. Timbers are used for furniture, manufacturing of papers, medicinal herbs, and food. Examples are Iroko and mahogany tree. All these are part of the timbers, and they use them for the furniture and manufacturing of papers. And they also serve as medicinal herbs. So we let us look at the system of system of agriculture. One, we have peasant farming. This is a type of agriculture which is concerned with the production of food for the farmer and his family. So the farmer only provide food for his own family, and it's up. I mean, it is a small scale system of farming, and this peasant farming is also known as subsistence farming. We also have the second one is plantation farming. This is the farming of three crops on a large scale. On a large scale, the peasant farming is on the small scale system of farming, and it's also known as subsistence farming. But plantation farming, this farming are done on the large scale, and this system of agriculture it requires a lot of capital before they can set it up, and it requires the use of machines, and only one crop is cultivated. Only one crop is allowed to be cultivated under this plantation farming. We have mechanized farming, and this mechanized farming is a type of agriculture which is concerned with the production of foods. So this mechanized farming, is for the purpose of the production of foods, animals, and cash crops in large quantity, mainly for sales. So mechanized farming is for the purpose of production of food for sales, and it's also known as mechanized farming is also known as commercial farming. Then we also have cooperative farming. This is a type of farming in which farmers come together to form a union. The farmer comes together to form a union for the purpose of farming together to enable them enjoy some incentives from government. They must produce one type of crops or livestock. So the farmers come together to form a union, and for the purpose of farming, for the purpose to for the purpose to have or to produce one type of crops or livestock. So there we also have this importance of agriculture. Agriculture provides food for human consumption. Agriculture, agriculture provides food for human use. Second, agriculture generates a lot of money to the government through tax. Agriculture also generates a lot of money. Then it provides materials essential for building. Agriculture also provide essential material for building and for building and a material required for furniture. Then four, agriculture provide market for industrial products. Agriculture also provide market, that is market where the buyer and seller meet for the content of exchange of products and goods and money. So this agriculture provide market for industrial products and storage facilities. Number five, agriculture leads to the establishment of facilities like recreation and tourism. So Agriculture also provide recreation and tourism as well. It also provide something like that. So we also have the we also have problems of agriculture. So in spite of the numerous importance of agriculture, it is the problem of agriculture are listed below. One, use of crude implements. Majority of the farmer cannot afford modern equipment, which make their work tedious and cumbersome. So most farmers nowadays they find it difficult to afford modern equipment, as it makes their work to be uh, tedious, and it give them a lot of problem for them to make use of the modern equipment. So it gives them a lot of problems, and they are unable to use this modern equipment. So uh, that is uh, that is the use of. Then we also have uh, another one: inadequate funding. Agriculture is not adequately funded in West Africa, and that is the other area that the government should look at. The government uh, just concentrate on only crude oil, and crude oil is not uh, the only way that government can be able to uh, it's not the only way the government can be able to sustain or make this country to be well developed. It is not possible for government to do that. I, before the in the olden days, or uh, before 1970s, agriculture happened to be one of the source of income to the government. Yes, it's one of the source of income to the government. But even the farmers in the olden days happen to be people respect them a lot in the community. If you're a farmer then, but government, they've neglected that, and they've concentrated on only one source of income, which is monoproduct. And any country or any corporate individuals that is having only one source of income, that person will continue to have a problem. He will continue to be complaining about uh, lack of capital. So that means our government will also look at this. They should provide enough adequate uh, capital for the farmers, so they can make use of them to buy some modern equipment for them for them to for them. So but the government, they've neglected all these areas. Uh, like all these foreign rice they are producing is what we can produce in our community here, or is what we can produce in our country or in our nation here. So I don't know. That is inadequate funding. Most farmers are very poor, and they don't have access to credit facilities. If the government cannot give them money, then they should give them credit facilities. The government should loan them. They should give them loan, and this loan they will pay back as at depending on the agreement for both between the farmers and the government as well. Then we also have land tenure system. This system encourages small scale farming. It does not encourage large land ownership, and does not allow long-term improvement to the land. So land tenure system is one of the problems uh, for the for this uh, problems of agriculture. Then we also have poor agriculture pricing policy. The pricing policy is very poor. Prices of agricultural output are low and unstable. Yes, unstable. During the dry season, they will not have enough crops for the, they will not have enough crops for them to sell. So, and this will affect the morale of farmers to increase output during the dry season. So, the farmer find it difficult during this time, and some of them find it difficult to get adequate funding, which is not good. Government should come to their aid. Then how do we increase, how do we improve this, uh, or how do we cultivate, or how do we curb these problems of agriculture in West Africa? So it's control, measures to improve agriculture production, that is the control of agriculture problem, solution to the problem of agricultural, solutions to the problem of agriculture. One, mechanization of agricultural production. This should be introduced. Yes, this involves the extensive use of machines and other types of advanced devices like harvesters, tractors, and incubators. So the government to try to educate them on how to use uh, the this how to use this machine and other advanced devices. So there's some nowadays. It doesn't mean that until when you take your cutlasses and hoes before you can cultivate, you have machine that can do this, that can cultivate all this thing for you. Tractors are there, and incubators are also there to do the work of a farmer. So, and with that, everything will be okay. Then second one is effective control of pests and diseases. This should be effectively controlled. There should be provision for insecticides, uh, insecticides, and the farmers should also try to control the insecticide uh, and drugs as well. So the government should uh, come to their aid, come to the aid of the farmers, and ensure that they reduce the control the pests and diseases that farmers are facing, especially during the dry season. So then the education of farmers, farmers should be well educated, and they should be trained on matters relating to the modern techniques of agriculture. So they should provide training centers. Training centers will be a place whereby they will educate the farmer on how to use the modernized, mechanized, or modernized equipment, or on how the farmer can use them. So they should provide an adequate place whereby they can use, or they should provide a special training center on how they can educate farmers on how to use this modern equipment or machines. So the government should do this. They can do this. It will be agriculture can be one of the source of income to the Nigerian government. So the government should not totally ignore or not totally eradicate this system of agriculture. Yeah. Then development of infrastructural facilities. The government should also develop that area. Uh, Especially the government should ensure that they provide uh, adequate infrastructure facilities to the rural area and urban area. So the government should do that to provide adequate facilities for the farmers as well. Then provision of adequate storage facilities. Adequate storage facilities should be provided. This will reduce wastage of agricultural output. Good produce can be stored for distribution during dry season. So the government should provide adequate storage facilities. So during the dry season, the farmers should be able to keep their goods or store it in in the warehouse or in the storage area, so that they can be able to get access to it during especially this time of rainy season. Uh, the farmers are getting their crops from time to time now. So they should have a place whereby they will keep all these crops until when the dry season will come. So that one will, they will fall back to that, and that one it will also be as a source of income to them during this dry season. This uh, this storage of crops they have. So if the government can be able to make use of this, I believe the farmer will contribute great, uh, uh, I mean, impact, a great impact to the development of Nigeria and development of Nigeria, West Africa, uh, Africa as well, and as a whole to the whole world. So if the government can do this, that it will be better for our economy, and it can also be one of source of the income to the government as well. So the government should not totally eradicate what is called agriculture, or the farmer cannot be able to be of benefit to the Nigerian, to the development and the growth of the country or of the nation as well. So agriculture is one of the source that government source of income. It can be part of the source of income to the uh, development of the country as well. So that is what I have for you, my student. Until when I will see you next time, I will say keep yourself safe. Until then.